Hey, GED students and math students. So GED student Crystal sent me this problem and I really wanted to work it right away because this subtraction of with fractions problems falls into the category of what I call math makes sense problems. Sometimes the hard thing about students is they memorize all these steps we teach them to do fractions or to do something else, and then they give me ridiculous answers that don't make sense. So even though this problem can be done with the traditional algorithms, the step-by-step processes, before I do it that way, I want to show you how you could do this problem without really doing a math operation, but rather thinking about it logically. So I want you to imagine that I have 15 whole items, and that's what I'm starting with. When you subtract, the first number that you start with is your total. So I have 15 whole items. I'm going to start by picturing this scenario, whether you write it down or not. There's my 15 whole items. And from that, I'm going to take away 3 and 7/8. So first, 3 whole items. So 1, that's gone. 2, 3, that's gone. But I'm also going to take away 7/8. And you might be saying, well, Kate, how do I take away 7/8? Well, first you break your one whole thing into 8 pieces. And then you take away 7 of them. So I'll take away this and this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And you can see that out of this piece, I have 1/8 left. Because I took away 7/8, I only have 1/8. And then I have some whole items. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 whole items and 1/8 left. I can do this problem in my head because of picturing this scenario here. Now, you might say, but Kate, my math teacher taught me to do all these steps. What about the steps? Yada, yada. Okay, so if I was doing it by the steps, I want to show you that I'd be doing the exact same thing. So if you have 15 and you want to take away 3 and 7/8. Remember that when adding and subtracting, you can only add and subtract the same kinds of things. So I line up my whole numbers. And you might say, well, Kate, how in the world am I going to subtract 7/8 when I have no fraction right here? It's like 15 and no eighths. I have no fraction up with my 15. Super simple. Just like always, you're going to borrow. So I'm going to borrow one whole thing. So my 15 will go down to 14. Now you might say, well, Kate, if I borrow one whole thing, how many pieces is that? Well, think about it. If you take one whole thing and you break it into eighths, how many pieces do you have? You have 8/8. So 15 whole things, just like my diagram down here, is the same as 14 whole things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 whole things, and 8/8. I broke one of my pieces into eighths. Okay, so I'm rewriting the number 15 in the way that suits me. Now, since I have 8/8, I can take away 7/8. That's 1/8 left. And those 14 whole things, take away those 3 whole things, gave me 11, just like in my common sense application. Take a look, whether I use a mathematical algorithm or I use common sense, I still get 11 and 1/8. Math should make sense. If it doesn't, we're doing it wrong. Okay, if you have any questions about this or any other GED concept or math concept, be sure to drop it in the comments and I'll be happy to do my best to answer it.